Hi everybody, this is Ginger and this is Ginger's Chat Show and it's Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. You have to forgive me here. Ever-present allergies are catching up with me today. Cottonwoods are flying and I'm going, ugh. So I'm not feeling very good right now. Anyway, I hope all of you had a good weekend and a good Monday and everything. Hey Nancy, hi! How are things in your neck of the woods? I hope good. Here this first time, this morning we had some fog. And so it was pretty socked in. You couldn't even see the apartment building across the way here. There's an apartment building up across from me. It doesn't belong to my complex. It belongs to separately. So anyway, it was pretty foggy, and so it kind of, in some ways, it's kind of nice, and it's saying fall is coming. So in September and October, November, we get fog a lot in here. We really do, and sometimes we get sucked in. So it's a matter when you're driving, trying to find where the stoplight and the stop sign is. Like, where is it? Or your exit when you're on the freeway and you can't find your exit. Like, where's my exit? So, gotta be careful. Anyway, hey Linda. Hi. Um, welcome. I don't know why my viewer counter is not working. That's weird. Uh, every time Facebook keeps changing the algorithms and it screws things up, and they need to stop doing that. They need to give us fair warning when they do that. They really do it, and it should be a requirement that they should. Um, but for some reason they don't. Now, as you're talking about, professionalism and um, people, proper public behavior, type thing that's going on. Well, this over the weekend, this was like on Saturday or a Sunday, I don't know what day it was, they didn't say. But over in Denver, there was a Beetlejuice musical going on. And Lauren Boebert happened to be the audience in there. Well, guess what she did? She basically disrupted the show. She kept giggling and laughing and clapping when she shouldn't be. She should be super quiet so everybody could hear. And people finally had enough. A number of people called. Some theaters have this, some don't. But there is on the side on the chair there is a call button to call security. And so police were called on her, or the security was called on her. And guess what? They gave her the boot. They kicked her out of the theater and told her not to come back until she behaves herself. And I understand this lady, if you call her that, has a rap sheet. She's been arrested for a number of times for public disturbance and everything else. Well, you know what? She should not be a representative in Congress at all. She displayed poor behavior and poor working attitude more than anything. Okay? So, I think she's what? Is she up for re-election next year? I hope. Well, if she is, then she should be given the boot. So anyway, hey Carol, nice seeing you. Anyway, I'm glad to see that she's been reprimanded and put in her place quickly. I'm glad karma bit her on that one. She needs to be given read a lecture, okay? Because she's acting like a spoiled. Oh, they are up for election, all of them. Okay. Well, then she needs to be voted out. Okay. Um. So that's good. Let's see. Oh, there is another congresswoman from Alaska. She's the first Alaskan Native American Indian that's been elected to Congress. She lost her husband over the weekend. He died in a plane crash. I didn't quite get her name, but our condolences to her and her family on their loss. And I guess this gentleman has done a lot of community work and everything else, and I guess a lot of people call him or love him on this. So it's really kind of sad. As always, I've been watching Minus Touch. I don't know if you guys have watched the podcast, Minus Touch podcast. Have you? They're pretty good. They give a lot of sound, legal advice, or not legal advice, but legal how the thing works, how the legal system works, and you learn a lot in there. You really do, because they got some excellent lawyers. There is a number 2 lawyer. Her last name is Furigreal. She's Italian, Italian background. Her name is Karen. First name is Karen Furigreal. She's number 2 in the New York prosecutor's office. Actually, formerly number 2. She resigned from that, and she's works for a practice or a partner in a legal practice. But she knows how all this works. So anyway, as usual, Trump is with he's not really campaigning. He just wants to be relevant. And he's not talking about solving any kind of problems or anything else. All I seem to get the impression from him, he wants to do revenge. Go after the people that he deemed that wronged him, where in turn he's wronged a lot of people. He really has. And so I strongly suggest and tell many of your, if you know they're MAGA or not MAGA or just regular Republican friends, don't vote for this guy. Don't ever vote. And don't vote for Vivek Swamarmy or whatever his name is. He's also an idiot. He doesn't really know how things really work. Okay. Now, hey Dorothy! How are things in Florida? Outside of dodging a hurricane bullet, if you will. I'm gonna feel sorry for Maine. Right now they're keeping an eye on Hurricane Lee. From what I understand, the last time I checked, Lee has turned northward. Still a Category 3. But they said once it gets up to colder waters, I don't know how cold the waters are up there in the northeastern coast there in Maine and Massachusetts. It's going to weaken. Because hurricanes feed off on warm waters. Okay. Which is an interesting thing, you know. So, anyway, let me put likes here. So anyway, just doesn't live in Maine, or you have friends living in Maine, or family living in Maine in that general area, Portland, Bangor, Maine, uh, please be prepared. You never know. You don't know what this storm is going to do, whether it's going to set off a nor'easter or, other type of storms. They said now there's still a lot of high current and riptides coming in, so. Well, the 3, the 2, they said it might get down to a 1, which is still in hurricane range, okay? Hurricane, for category 1 hurricane is 80 miles an hour, or I think 75 miles an hour or higher, okay? And of course you have tropical depressions. But they're just, like I said, they're keeping an eye on it. And they said this. Okay, Linda, be sure to warn them. Don't tell them to make have all kinds of supplies and everything else, and batten down the hatches and secure everything. Just make sure things don't go flying around, that type of thing. I lived through a similar storm a few years ago. Well, actually, in 1962, we had what's called the Columbus Day storm. That was from a remnant of a typhoon that came this way. It came from Japan, and it went east. It didn't go their east, it went this way. And it caused a lot of damage in western Washington, Oregon, western Oregon, and northern California, I believe it is. And so, luckily, the house that I grew up in, it handled things pretty well. Dad was going to build a brand new garage. He was going to start building it that weekend, and something told him to hold off. Good thing he did. So, yeah. Oh, you live in Randolph. Okay, Linda. Yeah, just, you never know what the storm's going to do. Okay. So just be prepared. Always do. And the other storm that I lived through was the 1992 Inauguration Day storm. President Clinton was just elected president. It was, and his first concern was, have you heard anything from Washington State? Because he heard about the storm, and he was told by, he already had a cabinet in place. He was forewarned by FEMA, what's going to happen, what's happening, and, he said, well, keep me posted. And, let's see, who was our governor back then? I was trying to remember who our governor was. Wasn't Inslee. Inslee wasn't governor then. So, anyway, that storm caused a lot of damage. And that time I lived out in Roy, which is a little town that way. I thought the roof of our double-wide mobile home was going to go. Because you could hear it thumping. The wind was trying to get under it. Okay. Well, if you see her, talk to her, Linda. Tell Ginny to, batten down the hatches. Okay, because I want all my friends to be safe. I really do. So, anyway, back to He Who Shall Not Be Named. They need to muzzle this guy. As far as I'm concerned, with all his long rap sheet. I mean, like 91 counts rap sheet. This guy should be muzzled. As far as I'm concerned, Trump has lost all rights to anything. I really do. Um, I'm so sick of tired of him bullying people, bullying the prosecutors, and everything else. And his lawyers should be telling him to shut the hell up. Say it to his face. And if he doesn't like it, well, he can rant and rave and act like a little toddler. Okay. Oh, she is. Okay. Well, I know some storms really get nasty over in Boston. See, when my parents, when they took a trip back east, they went through Boston and they were caught in a real nasty nor'easter, the leading edge of the nor'easter when they were coming through, and they were coming back through, and Dad was trying to get on a highway to get back to South Dakota and then take I-90 and head home. But yeah. So anyway, he's gonna be, and the judges that are assigned to the case, except for Cannon. Okay. Except for Cannon, she's last on the docket, but the other judges, the one in D.C., the one in Georgia, and the one in New York, are standing up to Trump and said, nope, you keep putting these frivolous motions and it's not going to work. We're going to say no, but hell no, and the trials will go on. No more delay. And especially in the RICO trial, there is no, as far as I know, in the RICO statutes, there's no, the statutes on that doesn't run out. Okay. I would have to look that up, but I don't think the statute of limitation runs out on that. Because when you have a candidate that threatens America like that, they should be backing off and just leaving him in droves and just ignore him. I don't think he's going to get the nomination ever. I think somebody else will. Now, the other thing that happened was on the news this morning. The escaped murderer, Daniel Cavaletti, he was captured finally after 2 weeks. He escaped from a correctional prison that was holding him there for intake and getting ready to send him to state prison and everything else for state murder charges. And he escaped. And so he was on the lam for 2 weeks. Well, finally this morning they captured him. And what captured him was he made a mistake of trying to get inside a garage to steal a car. And the burglar alarm went off. And he was caught right there. And I guess the residence was not all that far from the police station, which is down the road. They caught him. And so, he is now back in custody. And with his escape, with conviction and escape, he's going to be slapped on for more years for escaping. He's gotten life in prison, so, and probably his possibility of parole will be revoked. So he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And they should slap people like that really hard for it, okay? You know, that's one thing that gets me about people like Trump or Boebert or Green or whatever. For some reason, they seem to ignore the laws and they think that they're all above it. And you know what? They're not above the law. Everybody is treated the same way. And the key to it is know the laws and know that you don't break them. Okay? Laws are put there for a purpose and for a reason. And Bulbert and Green and Trump can't seem to get it through their stupid skulls. Yeah, their thick, stupid skulls. Um, Follow the law and don't break them. Did Trump listen? No. Did he cheat? Yes. Did he steal? Yes. And he also he scammed a lot of people too. Oh, okay, Nancy. Well, they didn't. When I read the one article, they did not say. They said he was uh, in prison for his sentenced to life in prison, but they didn't say without parole. They didn't state that, so it is without parole. Good. Um, well, they're probably going to tack on another 10 years because he escaped. So, um, now this is a state prison. But frankly, I think with his escape tendencies, they should put him in at Supermax and really make it escape proof. Yeah. Same way with Trump when he's convicted. He should be in Supermax. And he's going to find out very quickly that he has to follow orders. He has to do everything for himself. And he is required to follow the rules. And if he doesn't follow the rules, well, his privileges will be yanked from him. So it'll be interesting on the trials. Now this week, I guess what's going on the seventh day. Ken Paxton is being impeached for Texas AG Attorney General. So I don't know what's going on there. So anyway, whether they have enough evidence to impeach him, or it depends on whether he's found guilty or not guilty. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Now, the other thing that really kind of irks me is the mega rats over there, the Freedom, so-called Freedom Caucus. That's an oxymoron, if you ask me. They want to impeach President Biden. For what? He didn't do anything. He's doing his job. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He didn't break any laws or any rules or anything else. And they're forgetting he himself used to be a federal prosecutor, okay? And there's no evidence. And so they're going to have a fight in the House, just try to get the article impeachment going. Well, you know what? It's going to be, they're not going to get they're required, when they do that, they have to have a majority. And you know what they're going to find? They're not going to have a majority. The people in there are going to say, no, we got to concentrate on other issues like government funding, or, the budget and everything. They need to work on that instead of this frivolous impeachment thing. And the Senate said it's not going to happen. Impeachment's not going to happen because we're going to slap it right back at you and say no. Because they have to have a majority in both the House and the Senate in order for it to have impeachment. Well, you saw what happened with Trump twice. Trump was impeached twice. And, he should have been convicted. He should have been booted from office right then and there. Okay. But now that they've got all this information, and the DOJ has a wonderful special prosecutor, Jack Smith is doing a wonderful job. He really is, and he knows how to go after these guys. And he said Trump is acting like a mob boss, and has been for years, and he should have been caught a long time ago. So, like I said, I'm sure he'll be convicted. He's already lost. He's lost two cases this year. He did not show up for disposition with Michael Cohen and everything else because he was going to sue Michael for this $500 million or whatever that was about. Yeah, right. Yeah, what about Trump's kids? They worked in the White House. You too, Dorothy. Stay safe. So, Trump's kids were basically corrupt, okay, in this, especially his son-in-law and his daughter. So, I don't know why they want to go on this frivolous thing of impeaching him. It's not going to happen. Okay? And Hakeem Jeffries told McCarthy, no, but hell no, it's not going to happen. You have to have a majority. And I'll bet you many of the non-Freedom Caucus members, non-MAGA people, the GOP, the regular GOP camp are going to vote no too. The one guy says, there's no evidence. And he said, the Freedom Caucus is living in fantasy land. And so is Gates. And Gates needs to be given a boot. Well, if they try this, they're going to find themselves out of a job next year, which is going to happen anyway. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I will see you on, let me check my calendar real fast here. Hold on a second. I'll see you on Friday at 1 o'clock as always. And real quick to let you know that Loki had a shot yesterday. I picked up Cyrano's ashes, and he's in a nice little box and everything, and he's over in my bedroom in his favorite sleeping spot. So, I'm glad that he's home there too. So, anyway, Loki's healthy, and I'm going to be next. Well, in 2 weeks from now, Loki goes back in for his teeth cleaning. Also, he had his toenails done yesterday, and so he was a good boy about that too. Okay, well, I will sign off. I will see you later. And tell your friends I will be posting on YouTube. Be sure to insist, persist, and push back. And always tell the facts. Tell the truth and tell the facts. And if those don't like it, well, that's just too bad. That's their problem, not yours. But we need to have the truth out there. We really do. Okay? All right. Love you guys. And I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.